Okay, Annunciation Latin class, Capitulum duodecimum miles Romanus pars prima. Oratio initialis. Oremus. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum. Benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus. Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Amen. So with that, we finally come to chapter 12. I covered in slides the various things that are in chapter 12. But I don't, but as we hit them, I will bring them up, because otherwise we'll start in on the Familia Romana. The only thing extra is they talk about the fourth declension, and I threw in the fifth declension at no extra charge because that's actually in chapter 13. And so you might as well get a head start on it. So, but with that, let us begin. I know it's in there. Here we go. Let's see here. I'm going there. That is probably easier to see. Let's see if I can.
Quintus est frater Marci, Julia soror eius est. Marcus et Quintus fratres Juliae sunt. Marcus patrem et matrem, fratrem et sororem habet. Nomen patris est Julius, matris Aemilia. Quintus est nomen fratris Julia soror.
Go. Sorry for the bounce back. So there's nothing in there. I think the only new words are soror. We've had frater. And so there's really nothing too unusual. It's the next paragraph that we run into some new stuff. So let me start that up.
Marco una soror est. Juliae duo fratres sunt. Nomina fratrum sunt Marcus et Quintus. Patri et matri una filia et duo filii sunt.
There we go. All right. Marco una soror est. What does that mean literally?
Marco has one sister.
Well, that's what it means, but I wanted a literally.
Literally.
It is the sister to Marco. Basically.
Yeah, there is one sister for Marco, or one sister to Marco, however you want to do the, work in the ablative there.
I actually read some of the notes.
Yes,
for
but
class.
it really means, see, right over here, Marcus unum sororum habet. So this is where we come to the dativus possessivus, or the dative of possession, or goes by a couple different names. So besides the genitive, Latin has a dative plus esse, and esse here is the verb to be. This would not be used except with the verb to be. So Marcus unum sororum habet, vel Marco una soror est. So you can translate that literally. For Marcus, there is a sister. We wouldn't say that way. Well, we might say it in English, but that's kind of weird. So if I were going to translate that for somebody, I would say what Sophia said, namely Marcus has a sister. So I don't think that's too difficult to see how that works. Let's see what's the next one. Oh, there is a slight difference in emphasis between the genitive and the dative use. The genitive, and again, this is with the verb to be. You can only, if you have a, if the verb is something else, Marcus has Peter's book, the habet. That is not the verb to be. So this only applies with the, sum, est, sumus, estus, sunt. Anyway, liber Petri est means this is Peter's book and it's no one else's. So the emphasis is on the possessor, namely Peter. The dative of possession emphasizes the fact of possession. Est mihi liber, I have a book. So in English, you'd say something like, I have a book. We really can't distinguish that terribly well in English. But there's a slight emphasis there. So as I said, if there is no to be in there, no essay, then you've got to use the simple genitive. And I will add that not all ancient authors were terribly consistent with this. Cicero used the dative all over the place. And I forget which other author used the genitive all over the place. So I wouldn't get too hung up on this, but just keep in mind that this was often a construct to emphasize the possessor, and the other one was to emphasize the fact of possession. Other than that, just sort of wing it. All right. Let's see here. Any questions on what that means so far? Nope. All right, then let's press on. Let's see here.
Matri Emilia nomen est. Quod nomen est patri? Ei nomen est Lucius Iulius Balbus. Viro Romano tria nomina sunt. Lucius est praenomen, et est nomen primum. Balbus cognomen est. Filiis nomina sunt Marcus Iulius Balbus et Quintus Iulius Balbus. Marcus et Quintus praenomina sunt filiorum. Alia praenomina Latina sunt Aulus, Decimus, Gaius, Publius, Sextus, Titus.
All right. Now we come. Ancient Latin was somewhat, well, actually it was unique in the tria nomina, the three names. Praenomen. That would be, and I probably should have included something in the charts. In retrospect, I'll try and do that next time. The praenomen is the first name. So we know Iulius already, he's been all over the place. But we did not know that his first name is Lucius Iulius Balbus. The praenomen is the first name, and you're tempted to think that is like everybody here's first name: Teresa, Connor, Francis, Sophia, Michael, myself. And that's not quite right. Iulius, which is the nomen, and then Balbus, which is the cognomen. Balbus is the, boy, how do I want to put this? Balbus is the last name, and then Iulius is what gens or tribe within that last name. Whoop. I think Michael's rejoining us. Oh, okay. Where was I? And for various reasons, now Emilia would refer to Julius as Lucius, but nobody outside the immediate family would ever refer to him as Lucius. They would call him Julius. So we could probably think of him as Mr. Julius Balbus. And that would probably be a good way of thinking it. And one of the problems, the praenomen was used to distinguish between the various Julii Balbi, for example. So they talk about Marcus Julius Balbus and Quintus Julius Balbus. So they would use that praenomen to refer to or to distinguish within the family who was who.
So if Julius had brothers, they would all also be Julius Balbus.
Yes.
So then the nephews would refer to them by their first name, like Lucius.
Probably. Yeah, probably. So the other problem is there weren't a lot of first names that were in use. I'll put together a couple slides for next time on that. So it kind of became a bit of a well, yeah, okay, to a certain extent, okay, Gaius Julius Caesar, okay. To a certain extent, the praenomen, and we even have that today, if you just say Michael, well, which one are you referring to? So they tended not to use the praenomen very much, except within family settings. So anyway, enough wandering around on there. I don't think there's anything difficult about the Latin here. Any questions? Viro Romano tria nomina sunt. Yes. And this is, by the way, the Roman males had the three names. You'll see later on that Emilia, Laura made it, is just Emilia Publius. Because, oh, I'm sorry, Polus is the cognomen. She's Emilia Polus. And we'll talk about Emilia's brother here. So Laura got her power back. Okay, well, we'll press on. So with that.
Emiliae est unus frater, cui Emilius nomen est, praenomen Publius, cognomen Paulus. Frater Emiliae est avunculus liberorum. Emilius autem procul a sorore sua abest, et atque tristis est Emilia, quae fratrem suum amat.
Emiliae est unus frater. And Laura, since you just joined us, this is called the dative of possession. It literally means Emilia has one brother. But instead of using Emilia habet unum fratrem, Latin can use the dative possessive in order to indicate possession. And you can see that on the slides I sent out. Any questions on this section? On what it means? Oh yeah, we have a new word, avunculus. Avunculus frater matris.
So is that an uncle?
That is an uncle, yes.
On the mother's side.
On the mother's side. In fact, let's pop this up. and bring up uncle, uncle. On the father's side, it's a patrullus, but on the mother's side, avunculus. So you can kind of see where that comes from. On the father's side, pater, patrullus. Here, I'll put this in. There we go. See if you know. And then there was the great, and then the great great, and then the great 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 great. So they go through the same greats as we would. So, but avunculus is on the mother's side, and patrullus is on the father's side. So, let's see. Anything else? Christus, the opposite of latus. We'll continue on if there aren't any other questions.
Marcus et Julia, matrem suam tristem in hortum exire vident, et patrem interrogant. Cur mater nostra tristis est? Julius.
Whoops.
Mater.
There we go. I missed. Marcus et Julia matrem suum tristum in hortum exire vident, et patrem interrogant. Any questions?
What does exire mean?
The third person singular is exit.
Oh.
So yes, ex plus ire. All right. Ire means to go. So if I go, he goes east. Well, here, let's bring up Scriba here. Okay. That's not. Oops, sorry. Let's look it up. There we go. This is the. Okay, where'd it go? All right, I'll do it this way. Oh, AO. What am I saying? Okay, AO. Silly me. Here we go. AO is the verb to go. And whoops, here's the conjugation. AO is imus itis eunt. And so exire is just simply they have stuck the X in front of it. So to go out, to leave, to exit.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, let us press on.
Estra tristis est, quod Emilius procul ab ea abest. Emilius avunculus vester est, id est frater matris. Mater tristis est, quod fratrem suum videre non potest.
All right. Quod Emilius procul ab ea ab est. Quid significat?
Well, Emilius, because he's the male, has the IUS on the end of his name.
Correct. Quod Emilius procul ab ea ab est.
Procul again, I'm drawing a mental blank. Has something to do with location, right?
Yeah.
Far away?
Far away.
Okay.
Yep. Literally, Emilius from her away, far away. Okay. Remember, Procul, far away, Prope. Whoop, don't change it on me. Auto check is nearby. All right. Any questions? Press on. All right. I think we can go all the way. Yeah, we'll go all the way to the end.
Marcus. Ubi est avunculus noster? Julius. Avunculus vester est in Germania. Emilius miles est. In Germania multi sunt milites Romani. Julia. Quid est miles? Julius. Miles est vir qui scutum et gladium et pilum fert. Scutum et gladius et pilum sunt arma militis Romani. Miles est vir armatus.
All right. Let's gladius, sword, pilum, spear, hasta could be used, could be thrown as a spear, but it was really a better translation would be lance. And the foot soldier, miles Romanus, he's a foot soldier here, would have shield, sword, and a couple of spears, may or may not have lances, hasta.
Yeah, pilum, isn't that what they pierced Jesus
Yeah.
with? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that was standard equipment for the Roman soldier. They would carry those while on duty pretty much continuously. Let's see here. Oh, so that is a pilum. Okay. The hasta has a point. See, the pilum was your typical spear, which could be used for thrusting, such as, Jesus on the cross. But it was also for throwing. The hasta is more like a lance, which would be held in place. I don't know. See if I'm trying to think if there's a good example. Okay, all right. In medieval times, when the knights did jousting on horseback, they had lances. Okay, those were things that were not designed to be thrown, but to be held and out in front of them when they charged the oncoming rider and horse. They can be thrown. The Roman one could be thrown, but generally speaking, it was not. It's the pilum or the spear that would be thrown. This thing was also much heavier than the spear, so the hasta was not as convenient to perhaps carry around. So no, that would have been a pilum. You see there that there's no little nice place for his hand to fit in. So.
Did you see my note about the talk that Scorpio gave on the military and their armaments and stuff?
Yes. Oh, you mean as in Scorpio Martinus?
Yes.
Oh,
He gave a talk in New York, talked all about how they were, with the pieces of their armament, their armor
Yeah.
and everything, and it was really interesting.
I assume that's on YouTube somewhere.
Yes, it
I
is.
will dig that up then. Here, let me make a note of that. Okay, hold on here. Find. Let me just. Yeah, one of the reasons that the Romans were so successful in conquering most of Europe and a good chunk of the known world was because of their well-trained and well-armed and well-coordinated armies. It's something I'll dig up the YouTube video for you guys and send it out next time. I don't know if we'll bother to watch through it, but I don't know. We'll see. All right. So quis est Emilius? Quis est Emilius?
Frater Amelia.
Very good. Frater Amelia est. And notice that Emilia and Emilius, whoops, sorry, Emilius. And Emilius's name is Publius Aemilius Paulus. Publius Aemilius Paulus. So Amelia est Emilia Paulus.
Does Amelia have a praenomen
No.
or not?
No, this was strictly the men.
So all of the women would have basically the same name.
Not sure I understand.
Like if there are 7 sisters, would they all have?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I had this vision of all women were named Amelia, and I go, no, that's not true. Yeah, actually, they would probably break it up, but I think it was Caesar. Ooh, which Caesar was it now? I'd have to go back and look. Had 2 daughters named Julia and Julia. Well, there was Julia Maior, essentially Julia Senior, you might or bigger Julia. I don't know how you want to translate that. And then Julia Minor, little Julia. And so that was not unusual in a Roman family, is to have the daughters named, have the feminine name of the father. Now, if there were 7, they may at that point go like tertia, quarta, quinta, sexta, and septima. Yeah, they would actually do that. They were let's see, the women's names were not quite as important for inheritance, and they certainly were never. Now, there were many powerful women in ancient Rome, but they were powerful because of their influence on their husbands. There were no women in the Roman Senate. I mean, it's so the names, the clear lineage was not quite as critical. Now, having said that, there were a number of women that were very, very wealthy. And so it became very important for them to trace their lineage. If a Roman, when a man, and we're talking about the well-to-do here now, male married a woman, he would receive a very large dowry with her. And he was to keep that dowry intact. If they ever split, then that woman would get her dowry or family fortune back. At least that was the theory anyway. Naturally, there are some men who ran through their wives' dowries because they were spendthrifts, but by and large, that was greatly frowned upon. So anyway, so she would be just Emilia Paulus. So, and the women had a larger range of names than the praenomen of the Roman men, and that's because these were generally the nomen, the middle name, just the pure nomen, had a wider range of those middle names. So anyway, all right. Where are we here? 808. Okay, well, let's switch over to the slides here. Pick up a few things. All right. I talked about the dative of possession. One other thing we get here is the declination. I've been in astronomy too long. The declension of third declension adjectives. Now, first and second declension adjectives had the exact same endings as the nouns. For adjectives, it's pretty close, okay? The accusative, em, no surprise there. The genitive, is. The dative, e. The ablative, these are e's. What trips us up is the I stem. Whoop, is that right? Hold on. I stem. Wait a minute. This is all mixed up here. Oh, neuter. That's why. That's right. Yeah. So this is closer to the I stem with the long I. The ace, the A, ia, the eum, ibus for the dative, singular and plural, and then the vocative, of course, are the same. So we're going to see, let's see if I can get this. Tristem, okay, laetus, happy, tristus, sad. So here's a third declension adjective. So Marcus et Julium matrum suum tristum in hortum exire vident. So Marcus and Julia see their sad mother leave the garden and ask their father. Let's see, I think that's the first. Yes, I believe that is the first third declension adjective we have in here. Yes. So start on memorizing those. Whoops. There. It is also in the book, I think. Oh, it's not in this one. It's in the Grammatica Latina. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. It's actually, they don't give it in the Grammatica Latina. They give it in the Latine Disco. Oop, sorry. I don't know why this times out. It's a nuisance. Come on. All right. Sorry, it's up here. It's in the Latine Disco. See, they give you the third declension adjectives. Third declension adjectives are not too bad. They do have a few quirks. They're quirkier, say, than first or second. Let me show you some here. Acer, acris, sharp, for which we get the word acrid. So we have the acrum, the acris, the acri. Sorry, whoops. Aceri. That looks like a typo. I'll have to fix that. Sorry about that. Omnis, we've seen all. Omnis, omnis, omne. So really, other than a number of different endings for the nominative, they really do follow the same pattern once you get past that. Omnis, omnem, omnis, omni, omni, omnis, omnes, omnes, omnium, omnibus, omnibus, omnes. That is a typo for which I apologize. That should be just be acri. I don't think this is irregular. Yeah, that should be just acri. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's right. Teresa mentions that George Foreman named all his sons George, so he was not being original. Well, he was original for the sons. Usually the sons weren't named all the same.
Well, I think his explanation was that he didn't want any one of them to feel left out by not having the father's name. He was trying to be very equitable among his sons and
Makes sense.
honor them all.
Makes sense. I'd be one of the last people to argue with George Foreman. Oh, let's see. Okay, so, whoops. Where is it? Come on now. Whoop. Come back here. There we go. Oh, no. So, I think that is the first adjective that we actually see.
Can I ask a question about the footwear of the Roman soldier? Did they normally wear like those types of sandals, or did they have something a little more sturdy? Because if I'm thinking, if you're climbing the mountains in Germany,
Yeah, they did. Sandals were sort of just general run-of-the-mill in camp, you know. Whereas they had, for rough territory, they had what would be the equivalent of hobnail boots.
okay.
That, yeah, you really don't necessarily want to go into a pitched battle with your toes exposed. So yeah, they had a hobnail boot. Let's see, where was I? Okay, the other one that we introduced is the comparativus. And this is actually not in this section. We're going to see this in the, let's see here. It would be, let me close that. Let me get the second section here. We may just go on to the second section. Yeah, here it is. Whoops. I have to go previous. I missed it by one. Let's see here. Where is it? Yes. Where is? Here it is. Gladius brevus non tam gravus est quam gladius longus. Gladius, sword, brevus. And the gladius of the Roman soldier was a short sword, approximately, I don't know, the length of a forearm, maybe. Maybe a little longer. And that was very useful in close-in fighting when you had that very large shield that we saw in the earliers. So gladius brevis, non tam gravis est quam gladius longus. Gladius equitis longior et gravior est quam peditis.
Is that longior or longior?
Longior, sorry.
Okay.
Is that right? Hold on.
I'm easily confused, so I'm just making sure.
You're right. Longior. soft G. So longus, long, longior, longer. Gravis is heavy. We get the word gravity. Gladius brevus, non tam gravus est quam gladius longus. Gladius brevus, gladius longus. So just like English, we have something called the comparative. Now, in English, you have the positive, the comparative, and the superlative. So fast, faster, fastest. Whoop. Man. There we go. We're going to start with the comparative, which would be the ER endings. And English is pretty regular. I mean, red, redder, fast, faster, slow, slower, sleepy, sleepier. You know, most of the English adjectives follow this ER, EST pattern. There are, of course, irregular ones: good, better, best, much, more, most, bad, worse, worst. And English or Latin has its irregular ones. So, oh, equitus. Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see that. Well, quid est equus? Quid est equus?
Horse.
Horse. Quid est equitus? Let me go back here. Pace. Pace. Foot. Where was it? Peditus. Pace, peditus. Does he have it? Okay, anyway. Eques est miles qui ex equo pugnat. Eques est miles equo pugnat. Mounted soldier, cavalry, or horseman from equus. And then the pedes, pugnat pedibus. The foot soldier fights on foot. Understand? Intelligisne? Understand, Laura? Oh, okay. Here we go. Eques equitus. Eques est miles qui ex quo pugnat. No. That would be a mounted soldier. You might call them the cavalry. I recall being very young, mixing up Calvary and cavalry. Probably still do it today. Yeah.
A lot of people do it.
Yeah. And then the pede, okay, we have pace, foot. So the pedes, peditus, pedes, pugnat, pedibus. The foot soldiers fought on foot. So the pedes is a foot soldier. And our Emilius est pedes. as we will see later on. Anyway, where was I? Oh, so gladius equitis longior et gravior est. The sword of a cavalryman is longer and heavier. So going back here, this is where we start up the comparative. And Latin comparatives end in IOR for masculine and feminine, and IUS for neuter. And the nice thing about it is this is true of first, second, and third declension. So yes, you got some more endings to learn, but they're all the same for the first, second, and third declension. So longus, long, longior, longer, longa, feminine, longior, longum, neuter long, longius. So longus, longa, longum becomes, longus, longa, longum becomes longior, longior, and longius. So first and second, male and masculine, feminine is IOR, and neuter is IUS. We had paucus, so paucior, little, littler, pauca, paucior, paucum, paucius, little, littler. Brevis, short, brevior, brevus, brevior, breve, brevius. This is our adjective, brevus, brevus, breve. And if you go back to the table, you see it's is, for the third declension adjectives. A lot of them form that pattern. So there are irregular ones in Latin. Bonus, good. Melior, bona, melior, bonum, melius. Actually, let me double check. I may be throwing in a long, I think I just put in an extra long. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's short, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry. That should be pronounced Melius, shorty.
So how did you get from bonum to melius? Like, where's the connection between that?
It's irregular.
So there is no pattern.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not gooder, goodest.
Yeah.
Unless you're maybe from, I don't know, Beverly Hillbillies or something. I don't know.
Maybe not.
So yeah, there are irregular ones. Bonus, melior, melior, and melius. And as I said, there are a number of irregular ones. Malus is another one. Bad, mesior, badder, and pessimust, baddest, or bad, worse, and worst. So we'll pick up these as we go through the text. But right now, I believe it's longus and brevis is the only words in there. And I've given you a chart here. So the nice thing about it is those endings are all identical, okay, across the declensions. And the only thing you got to remember is let's take breve. There's no O in there, but all the other forms have brevio. Breviorum, brevioris, breviori. There's an O that creeps in there in all of these to make these endings pronounceable. If you tried to drop the O, it would sound very weird. So we're now picking those up. So longior, gravior, longer, heavier. Okay. And let's see, what else do we have here? Let's see here. Oh, and then this one is the easiest, genitivus partitivus. It's called a partitive genitive, and it simply indicates something is a part of a larger whole. And it works exactly the same as English. I don't even know why they bothered spelling. Well, I guess the reason they, did I say partitive? Oops. You mean like that? Thank you. Sorry about that. Partitive, yeah. Oh boy, yeah, okay, genitive. Partitive, I don't know why they bothered other than, I guess genitive, we always think of possessive, and this isn't exactly possessive. It just means it is part of something. So provincia est pars imperii Romani. The province is part of the Roman Empire. So we would say part of, and so did the Romans, and they used the genitive. Ut membrum pars corporis est. Like the member, I mean, members of the body, is part of the body. So it works exactly the same as in English. So I wouldn't get too excited about it. Let's see, what's next? Oh, okay. Declination scala. Declensions. See, that's the problem. In Latin, it is declinatio, but in English, it's declension. And in English, well, never mind. So prima, secunda, et tertia. So we've had all these endings before, okay? Now we're adding quarta et quinta, the last two, which I've been warning you we get to eventually. Now, the nice thing about this one is they are the same regardless of the gender of the noun. Fourth declension nouns are usually masculine. So we talked about the Spiritus Sanctus, the Holy Spirit. So Spiritus is masculine, Sanctus is the masculine adjective. So there's nothing too radical about that. But there are a few feminine ones. Domus, which means home. And there are only 6 neuter fourth declension nouns, genus or knee being, genus or knee being one of them. In fact, I will list, these are sorry. I didn't list all of them, never mind. And in the fifth declension nouns, not a lot of fifth declension words, but the nouns of this declension are feminine except for the oddball masculine noun dies, which is sometimes a masculine noun or a feminine noun. I guess you could say it's one of those trans nouns. It can't really make up its mind which way it goes. In ecclesiastical Latin, I have always seen dies as feminine. I don't think I've ever seen it as masculine, but I put the usually in there just in case. It may be, well, I don't know, maybe in the Vulgate, since Jerome did it in the late 4th century and early 5th, maybe there's some examples there. And there are no 4th or 5th declension adjectives, so you don't have to worry about those. So we will start seeing these in this chapter, and then these are in that chapter. These are some of the common 4th declension nouns that are feminine, which are, acus, needle, anus, one end, okay. Domus, house. Idus, the ides, manus is hand. We've actually already had hand. They snuck it in there on you. But it is actually 4th declension. Norus, daughter-in-law. Pecus, food. Porticus, colonnade. Sacros is mother-in-law. Specus is cave, and tribus is tribe. And the only fifth declension neuter nouns are these 6 here. I think, okay, yeah, there's a different, all right, hold on. Yeah, there is pecus, which is cattle. Okay. And I think we may have, in fact, I think we had that. No, we haven't had that yet. And then there is pecus, which is, well, all right, where is it here? All right, hold on. Whoops, where is it? Oh, wait, I got to find the right declension. This is third. This is third. Fourth. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is fourth. And so the pecus, which is the flock or herd, is third declension. And whoops, this pecus is fourth. So, and I thought we had that in, did we have that already? I thought we had PECUS. Let's see. Oh, okay. We don't get that. We don't get pecus pecoris until chapter 18. Oh, I'm probably thinking of pork. Well, no. Well, anyway. All right. So,
For the Norus, do you have to distinguish between daughter-in-law and young girl only by context?
oh well. Let's see what screen this says. Okay. The Norus was apparently a poetic form. I always knew it as daughter-in-law.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to look it up, just in case. So, but yes, it would be context.
Okay.
Why is irregular? Oops. Okay. Let's see now. Back to pecus. Oh. Good question. Good question. Let's, all right. PECUS.
It should be because it's third and fourth declension, right? Depending
Well,
on.
yeah, but if it were third, then it would be pecoris. So that's a good. There probably is. Yeah, I don't see it mentioned. It's kind of interesting. All right, let me look at this. Third, Pecudus. Interesting. I'm not sure why the I is there. Actually, let's try something here. PECI. Let's see what it says. Oh, doesn't like that. That may be an irregular form of it. I do not recall seeing it offhand. Oh, unless pecus is being treated as a second declension noun. All right, let me see. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Oh, and this is a mistake. Those are all fourth declension neuter nouns. They are not fifth declension. I can't type. There we go. Sorry about that. Any more questions? All right, well, let's press on with the second section then, where we can learn all sorts of great stuff. Let's see, this was here then. Let me close that. And let's see here. Oh, there we go.
Julia. Quid agunt milites Romani in Germania? Julius. Milites nostri in Germania pugnant. Julia. Mei quoque fratres pugnant. Julius. Pueri pugnis non armis pugnant. Milites pugnant gladiis, pilis, hastis. Marcus.
There we go. Pueri pugnus non armus pugnant. Pueri pugnus non armis pugnant. Qui, or let's do it this way. Quis. Ah. There we go. Qui. Not pig. Sorry. Oh dear. Autocorrect gets me again. Qui pugnant armis. Qui pugnant armis.
Milites.
Milites, soldiers. So Julia is saying, oh, Julius is saying, our soldiers fight in Germany. And Julius says, and my brothers fight me as well. To which Julius says, brothers fight. They do not fight with weapons. At least we hope so. So soldiers fight with swords, spears, and lances. So, question?
Num Aemilius et hastam et pilum fert. Julius. Aemilius pilum tantum fert, is enim pedes est, non eques. Eques est miles qui ex equo pugnant. Qui pedibus pugnat, pedes est. Equites hastas, pedites pila ferunt. Pilum non tam.
Okay, there. Whoop, I should like tile these so I can get to them directly. So the hasta, which is the lance, was used by the eques, or the equites, I should say, plural, the mounted soldiers. And the pilam, or the pila, was carried by the pedites, the foot soldiers. So, all right, let's continue on there.
Longum est quam hasta, neque gladius peditis tam longus est quam gladius equitis. Pilum Aemilii sex pedes longum est. Marcus. Quam longus est gladius eius? Julius. Duos.
Sorry about that. Pace. All right, now we're talking about measurement. the Romans had a measurement system similar to what we had, and they had 1 foot, which was not quite the same length as one of our feet, but roughly. And the pilum, what pilum Emiliae 6 pedes longum est. So the spear, Emilius's spear, was 6 feet long, which was slightly taller than your average Roman soldier. And then the gladius, duos pedes longus est, about 2 feet long. Now we get to find out some more details here. And if you have any questions, just shout out.
Longus est. Marcus, duos pedes tantum, cur tam brevis est gladius? Julius, quod gladius brevis non tam gravis est, quam gladius longus. Gladius equitis longior et gravior est quam peditis. Pedes, qui pedibus it multaque alia arma fert. Gladium longum et gravim ferre non potest. Itaque gladius eius, brevis et levis est. Brevior et levior quam is qui ab equite fertur. Etiam gladii quia Germanis feruntur, longiores et graviores sunt quam Romanorum, ac pila eorum longiore et graviora quam nostra sunt. Julia.
All right, that was a mouthful, wasn't it? All right, Julius. Quod gladius brevus non tam gravis est quam gladius longus. Basically, the Roman foot soldier carried the gladius, the short sword, and the pilum, the spear, because they were lighter. The equites, on the other hand, carried the gladium longum and the hasta, because they were on horseback. They could carry something longer, or sorry, heavier. Keep in mind that the foot soldier, the Roman foot soldier, marched about 20 miles a day when they were on maneuvers. You know, they were going somewhere like across Italy. And so they needed to be able to carry themselves and their armaments. And so it was much easier for them to carry lighter weapons than it was to carry heavier weapons. Whereas those that rode on horseback, they would carry both longer and heavier weapons because they were on horseback. But also, if you're on horse, you need to be able to reach the enemy. And so if you only have a short sword, you're kind of handicapped because you can't reach you can't reach an unarmed, or well, not an arm, but a foot soldier very easily with a short sword. So that's why they had the different weapons. Oh, any questions on that section? I think we'll stop after that because that one's a mouthful. What is happening in the last sentence? Etiam gladii qui ad Germanus ferentur longiores et graviores sunt quam Romanorum, ac pila eorum longiora et graviora quam nostra sunt. That sentence? Okay. All right, let's break it down. The swords which by the Germans are carried are longer and heavier than the Romans, and their spear is longer and heavier than ours. And this, boy, this gets into a lot more detail than I wanted on the soldiers themselves. The Romans fought in well-defined groups and units. Okay. Let me see. All right, I'll have to go all the way back to here to get the there we go. All right. This shield, well, here, let me zoom that out. There we go. You can see how big this shield is, okay? This shield was not used simply to defend the soldier from a sword strike, for example, okay? It was used to, and in fact, they had a version of the shield that was even bigger than this. The Romans would form what were called turtles, where the front line would have their shields in front, the side line along the side would have them along the side, and then the back line would have them along the back. Let me see if I can look this up for you guys, just to give you, I'll call it, oh no, sorry, can't do that. I need to do a new tab. Yes, that wouldn't surprise me. Okay, Roman turtle formation. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Hopefully, or the testudo. Ah, there we go. Oh, look. That's perfect. There we go. I think you can see that now. That is how, or here, this is how they fought. This was a very defensive posture. This is kind of like, this would be the equivalent of today's tank. Obviously, they didn't have internal combustion engines, but they formed these up that made it very protective of the soldiers inside. Notice they show let's see if I can zoom that out. They had the short swords there, okay? So the Germans fought as individuals, okay? They did not typically, at least early on, they did not typically fight as a well-organized unit, okay? And as a result, a single German soldier had a great deal of difficulty penetrating the Roman shields. And so the Romans could march literally forever because their arms, etc., were relatively light. So they would simply move in and plow through the disorganized German lines. Now, this was early on. Later on, the Germans caught on. And the downfall of one of these, there was, I believe it was Varus, yeah, who made the mistake of chasing, this was during the time of the Emperor Augustus, made the mistake of chasing the Germans into the forest, which immediately caused them to lose their turtle formations and to kind of get all, disarrayed. And the Germans just cleaned up. They lost, I think it was 2 legions, if I remember correctly. So they typically had the spears and the short swords so that they could attack close in, whereas the Germans had longer weapons and heavier weapons. And in a pitched battle that lasted hours, it was to the advantage to have the lighter, shorter weapon because it was easier for the Romans to keep on fighting, whereas the Germans would get tired because of the heavier weapons. So, and this did not show up. Yeah, this showed up, didn't? Yeah, there we go. It's okay. I wanted to make sure it showed up. So that's basically the gist of what he is talking about, right? Whoops, where is it? Yeah, talking about here, there. So All right, we're coming up on the end of the time, so let's bring up the rest. Okay. Yeah, work on past exercises. I'm almost caught up. Not quite. I got some more I got to go. We will not have class next week because that is Ascension Thursday. And I am sure that, well, I already know Father will have an extraordinary form mass that evening. I plan on going. I hope to have class May 16th. I am flying up to Boston with my wife to help move my mother-in-law into assisted living. I'll be leaving the 10th, and I don't know where I'll be the 16th. I could be on the road. We'll see. I will put charts together. I have plenty of time to put the next class's charts together, so I can pretty much guarantee I'll have some. Whether I can actually get online or not, I don't know. I will know. I'll let you know a few days before the 16th whether that's the case or not, whether I can actually get online or not. Any questions? I kind of rambled around a lot this time, but any questions on any of the material before we go? Questions going once. Questions going twice. Okay, no questions. You guys should be asking more questions. Makes me nervous. I think you're all asleep.
Francis has one.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I've been saying pugnant, haven't I? No, it is pugnant, like manium. And I see we say manus.
I noticed that with the names too. I noticed that in the audio he pronounces it cognomen. Is it? Jeez, my brain is out.
Whoops. Hold on here. Yeah, so we say manus. It should be no, it is not a long O. It is not a long U, it is a short U. Or am I dropping let's see here. Yeah, short U. So it's not a punyus, it is a punyus. Okay. Oh, cognomen. I'm pretty sure that, okay, now cognomen splits at the syllable. Doesn't it have a long I though? Wait a minute, now we're, I think I'm getting mixed up on which word is which. Does what have a long I? You're right, it is a long I. Man, I'm slaughtering. Well, I'm slaughtering the word. It's appropriate since since it means to fight. Yes, punis. I'll need to practice this while I'm but for next time. Yeah, punis non armis pugnant. You're right. Long I. I find that hard to say personally, but you're quite right. Thank you for the correction. Cognomen. No, I think cognomen is right. I think it's not cognomen. Was that what he used in the well, let's see what he used in
Yeah, he pronounced the G.
Oh, as in cognomen.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, cognomen it should be pronounced. And the reason is cognomen. Yeah, and it has to do yeah, it's Conomen, cog as in cognosco, to know. So it's a it's a prefix, and so it tends to
separate from the main.
it's separate. There's a few of those words like that. So yes.
Thank you.
Okay, where was I here? All right. All right, so let's mute everybody. Oratio finalis. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum. Adveniat regnum tuum. Fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimite nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimitimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo. Amen. And so with that, class is official.